So this is where I pick up my tanks from. It's actually a World War II bunker. They pump our tanks in here, and all the tanks are normally in here. So through that massive door is a shop, workshop there. This is Guernsey. This is where all your tanks are. So he blends our Trimix, and he pumps our air, and he fills our stage bottles up. It's 9 o'clock and it's Saturday morning, and we're about to go off and do the Bizon. It's a fairly technical dive. It's 58 meters. Everyone says 60 meters. We round up to 60 meters just for conservatism. We say we're going to go 60. We actually only go 58. The weather looks glorious today. The sun's just poking its eyes through the clouds, but it's still early in the day. That cloud's probably going to burn off. No messing around today, serious dive. We're going to get down to the boat, make sure all our gear's good, give it a check before we leave. I'll come down here early, just in case there is something wrong. But if there is something wrong now, I'll just abandon the dive, because it's not worth it. It's a serious dive, and you need to make sure everything's in tip-top condition, everything's perfect. So, let's get diving. It's like a Ninja Turtle with the tanks on the back. All this gear for one dive, is it worth it?
What's it, 58 meters?
Yeah, 58.
You're lucky.
Everyone says 60.
20, 22.
21 I think I got. What you doing, Phil? Because I'm with you today.
We're doing 20 minutes bottom time.
20 minutes, that's good.
58 meters, one stage.
I'm in 2 stages.
We're at the same time.
An 80 and a 40, but we're out at the same time.
Pretty much. There's old Roddy. Come for a chat.
You can let go of that, bro.
Hands like shovels.
Hey.
Hands like blunt
Hands
shovels.
like shovels, yeah. It's very powerful, man. Fishermen are very powerful, they've got forearms like Popeye.
Down the scaffolders.
Yeah. And we're off. Matt on the round thing with spikes.
Need a week.
Oh, wrong time. Phil, my brother Tommy is going to do the boat for us, Paul Main D, and Matt laminate. I wonder if he's doing a live. Crossing stern, Matt, he might be doing a live.
No, he isn't.
Oh, he's not. I think he might have clocked us. Oh, I think he's clocked us.
Here he goes, the camera's coming down.
Oh, there he is, the turbo king.
Oi, oi! Down over the 1-0.
Glorious fishing, baby.
Why, you broken down? Oh, I thought you... Down the Bizon.
Can't say. Shit, JB just said. Oh.
Matt, if you watch Matt's video, he's giving you the coordinates.
Only the stuff that people know.
Yeah, we'll see you later, mate.
Don't forget on my mackerel. Well, get me some.
Taking the nozzle off the end. Going to take it nice and slow with this one. This is 80% O2, so you can't overflow it. 85% in that one. See, this is why you analyse it, because on the tape it says 82.
Yeah, see, whereas on mine it says 79 and it is 79.
Yeah, it changes. I mean, this has been in my shed for a while, so not that the O2 should go up. That'd be a nigh on impossible. But that's why you analyse it. Now I can adjust my dive now to say that's 85%. So when I come onto it, I'm going to be doing it slightly shallower than I would have if it's 82. This is why you always analyse before the dive.
There's the wreck on 57 metres, 58 metres, 59 metres, 57 metres. We're pretty much over the top of the wreck right now. Go, go, go! That's what you call casual shot.
Wasn't there a in the middle of that?
Well, there was, yeah.
That's not casual. There's a bit of pop.
Fucking on something, so.
He's in something, you know?
Yeah.
That's why she's pulled past.
Wasn't a lot of slack on the shot either.
No, that's what I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going straight to the bottom. And now we're happy that the shot is actually in something. We're going to get ready, and then we're going to add on the lazy line and the O2 bottle. We don't want to do this too early because it would, if it isn't hooked into something and there's a lot of tide, with the extra buff and tank hanging off of it, it can actually drag it out the wreck, and that's when you normally miss the wreck.
Oh, well, they just want to pull it and I'll look at it.
That was the plan. Teamwork. What's the tank for?
It's 100% O2, so if we lose our deco gas or we get into a bit of an issue or have a little bit of a niggle, we can get onto 100% O2. It's a safety measure, really.
What's that, 5 metres down?
Yeah, that'll be hanging at 5 metres. You can breathe it down to 6 metres, 100%.
Get that though, eh? We've got half an hour.
Oh, this is the part I hate to take though.
The preparation or?
Yeah, just the
First
anticipation.
night jitters.
Yeah, everything.
So it's the first time the twin set's been let loose then for a while.
Oh, it has indeed, mate.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it's very black down there.
It's very black. It's like swimming in the deep end of the swimming pool, really.
Deepest dive so far this year.
Yeah, 58. I'm quite excited, really.
John, what's this, a cargo ship?
Yeah, it's a German World War II cargo ship. Three French MTBs ended up torpedoing it, sinking it. It was quite horrific because they, when all the Germans were in the water, there was hay bales as cargo on the deck, and they were firing into the hay bales and setting them on fire. So
Nasty.
nasty.
That's, as far as bombing a ship goes, that's quite good, man. Tactical.
Yeah, it was supplying the Channel Islands with materials. Backup torch wheel if you need it.
Same backup torch.
In the left pocket, and a catch bag in the left pocket.
Yeah, good time.
How many minutes? Plan 25.
Well, I've got a plan for 24, but see how it goes.
My plan's 21, Phil, but 20s.
Might do a fun in that.
Yeah, well, we'll see where we get. See what happens when we get there.
Take it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get to 19, 20.
I've got, this is my,
Just my deco gas is going to limit me.
yeah. So on my slate, I've got 30 metres, I swap over onto my 40%, 1 minute, 21, 1 minute, 18, 2 minute stop, 15 metre, 2 minute stop, 12 metre, 3 minute stop, 9 metre, 3 minute stop, 7 metre at 6 metre, 7 minutes at 6 metres, and 10 at 3.
That's on my left, mate.
Left.
There should be around there. One.
Well, we got an inflator here, mate. So do you want me to go under or over?
Oh, hang on, where's the inflator?
See ya.
Oh, you can see astronauts with this much gear, Phil. What's going on?
Something like that, so trapped in there, yeah?
Yeah.
Photo, Tommy, when you're ready.
Going close.
Behind me.
Right, Mo, go to the line, mate.
So this is Molly and Paul going in first. They've got the job of tying the shot and sending up the anchor, and the boat has now just dropped them up tide of it. So you can see the lazy lines behind it. That's the direction the tides are heading in.
They're on it. They're good. Right. Yeah, close, Matt. Catch your breath, boys. Catch your breath.
This is a little small cylinder with a lift bag on. This is what Molly we use to inflate the lift bag and send the anchor back to the surface. Because it's so deep and we don't want to waste our back gas and we don't want to reuse our deco gas as well, Molly's just taking down the spare tank. So Molly sent the anchor back up and we're good to go. So he's tied the lift bag so the anchor's come up like an umbrella, which is the method that nearly all divers use to say that the shot was in the wreck.
I don't know what it is. Something's wrong.
So we're just taking a moment here to check everything, making sure everything's turned on. We're pressurising our stage cylinders. What we normally do is turn them on, leave them pressurised, just to see if there's a leak, and you turn them back off again.
Right,
First.
I'll go first.
okay.
Where is it?
Right, shot's just behind you.
So Tommy's doing the same process again and dropping us off tide.
just take me back up that way just a touch?
Yeah, no worries.
So you notice there that Matt's voice sounded a bit squeaky. It's because he's breathing 30% helium. Helium is a very light gas, and when you breathe helium your voice travels much faster and quicker across your vocal cords, so it results in like a little funny voice, a little squeaky voice. As soon as we hit the bottom we noticed it's actually quite a bit tide, but we knew it was going to be a bit tide and we still agreed to dive it anyway. It's an 8.2 metre tide, and as you can see, look at the tension on the shot line, and Paul's tied it off to something strong around the corner. As you can see, it's 54.6 metres at the moment, and I've been 5 minutes. This big lump here is actually the triple expansion steam engine. It's still standing up, which is quite typical of these old boats. The strongest things seem to last the longest, and the engine's definitely the strongest thing around here. It's got a decent amount of growth of dead man's fingers and coral. So as the tide is so strong, me and Phil's going to go and sit in the aft hold, which is just out the tide in front of us. This is quite typical as well now, which is really nice to see, is there's crayfish on some of these shipwrecks. Tend to be in the boilers, around the engine, all the areas of those little creeks and crannies. They tend to be higher up, the majority of them. They're not like lobsters that like to go underneath plates everywhere. Some sort of large wheel for some sort of valve or something, and there we see another little crayfish there. Kind of think that's probably grown in there. Not sure if you can get out still. Be a tight squeeze if you could. constantly checking around to get a bit of awareness of where I'm swimming and what I'm swimming next to. So I've just clocked a bit of rope on the right, so just keeping an eye on that. Also, I'm just checking Matt's alright, and he's just come to the bottom of the shot line now. So now I'm already on 10 minutes. I've got about halfway through my bottom time now. So this is dropping down into the aft hold, and there's a humongous shanker just down here. There's a different sort of shells in the hold now. Part of the report which I read, this was transporting baby food to the Channel Islands on a general cargo. So I've just asked Phil to light up a fishing net. That fishing net, I think, has been there 20 plus years, but it used to be a lot more flappy in the tide and gets going over the top of the wheelhouse. It's not actually the wheelhouse. I think it's an accommodation block just astern of the aft hold. Just tangled in there in the net, you can see two drums there. That would have been the winch for the aft derrick crane. Now we're back to the donkey engine that would have supplied power probably to the derricks. This is a fairly large triple expansion engine. It goes largest cylinder, intermediate cylinder, and then the high pressure cylinder at the front. 115 back gas, I'm good, loads left. Oh, a little tiny conger there poking his head out the what would have been the high pressure steam pipe entrance. Ah, there's a lobster. Let's see if we can go over a lobster for tea. Actually, it's a female, it's got eggs, so I better leave it. Some heavy duty steam pipes, but they weigh a ton. Some more congers poking their noses out just to see what the commotion's all about. At a guess, I'd probably say this is 3 meters high, this engine, from top to bottom. And when it got torpedoed, the report says it was ripped in half. You can see the boilers out on the seabed to the left, probably about 4 meters away from where they should be. So they should actually be sitting on some beds, pretty much where I am. And you see this curved bit here in the middle? That would have been the beds where they would have sat, but they've been blown off and rolled out the wreck. This is Tommy waiting 55 minutes for us to do the dive. And now I'm at my 6 meter stop and I've got 14 minutes left to run. For me, this is the worst part about tech diving, the hanging around waiting in the water. You can see the surface, yet you've got what they call a glass ceiling, and if you go above this glass ceiling, potentially you will get a bend. So we don't want to try it. We just swim around chatting to each other, making sure we're all alright, make sure we're feeling good. So Matt was last in the water, first out the water. As I've done my dive with Phil, the whole lot, my deco's cleared now, but I'm going to wait another probably 5-6 minutes just to make sure he's alright. And look at Phil's, he's got 9 minutes left in top right hand corner, so 10 minutes total time to surface, so he's probably going to be out the water 11-12 minutes probably. Plenty of jellyfish around at the moment. And that's our deco done, so one at a time we go to the surface and we take our time getting back onto the boat. low tide, look how much water there is. More a metre.
Skipper.
El Capitano. Yeah, it's a touch tidal. Well, we knew that. Half tide. It didn't stop. It dropped down to about 0.2 for about 5 minutes, and then went back up to a knot again. Oh, it was alright. It was diveable. Yeah, Biz was good.
Got my lobster?
And the boys. Did you get it?
Oh, I thought I had it. No, I had it. No, oh, you had it.
There was loads as well.
Jesus.
What about the pollock? Any nice big pollock?
Damn.
Don't say nothing on video because otherwise everybody thinks.
No, there was none.
50 lobsters, Richard.
No, there actually was none.
How many 88 shells?
Oh, we didn't see him. We didn't see him.
I'm surprised Cannibal actually didn't bring any up.
I had a few issues which I can't talk about. My suit inflation
Add it to the list.
failed at 20 metres. I got down to 50 something. I was like, I had to blow my blower off my sleeve and my wrist.
Harbour staff have been around today. They've got everyone with parking tickets, all the people that haven't actually got a permit. Naughty, naughty. He's telling his mate now.
Well, I think that was a given when we drove down, wasn't it?
Right, let's wrap this up. Brilliant dive today, absolutely brilliant. Even though it's tidal, but we knew there'd be a bit of tide because it's an 8.2 metre tide, so we knew there'd be a little bit. So basically, the higher the movement of tide, the less slack you get on it. So if it was a 6 metre tide, it'd be a better slack than an 8.2. But we went out there and we still done it, and I still had an absolute fabulous dive with Phil. And Phil is my my buddy on that one, and I'm sure he enjoyed it as well. So you see a little bit of crayfish in there, bits and bobs. There was a porthole that was still on the floor. There was a big fishing net draped over the wheelhouse. It was just a really nice dive. And at the end of it, I didn't film it, but we had to cut the shot off because there was just so much tide. So we had 2 people on the line holding on, doing their deco, and then me, Matt, and then Phil done the duty of cutting the shot. But anyway, hope you enjoy the footage. Hope you consider, if this is the first time you've watched one of my films, consider subscribing, and hope you enjoy the footage we're kicking out. Really, I don't know if people are more interested in the shipwreck diving or they're more interested in the sea life, but at the moment it seems like the sea life. Anyway, that's another one done. Hopefully out again Tuesday night, and we'll see what happens, see what the weather does, see how we feel. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you on the next tide.